So, it's springtime. It's the first day of March. By the time you see this video, it'll be the second day of March. And guys, it's springtime. So I managed to go through my collection and find 10 springtime fragrances that I think I'm gonna give some wearing. And if you have them, I think you should spray them on too. If you wanna know what those fragrances are, meet me on the other side of this very, very short intro and we're going to get right into it. Hey, I will see you in just a second. Sit right there, it's gonna be good. What's up? What's going on? That's right, you guessed it. It is your boy, Trey Sense. Man, and thank you all so much for returning back to the scene of the crime. Now, before we get into this, let's go ahead and get the paperwork. Let's get the business end out of the way. Like, share, sub. It is all free. Won't cost you a dime. This one's on me. It's on the house. Now, it's spring, or at least here in the Southeast. We didn't really have much of a winter here. We just didn't. And we haven't the last 2 or 3 years, but we did have a couple of cold days, but they only lasted 2 or 3 days. But it's March, and the chances of us getting any snow or anything like that, it's probably not gonna happen. It could, but it's probably not. So, with that being said, it's time to rotate and get some spring fragrances out. I think tomorrow is gonna be almost 80 degrees again for the second week in a row. We're getting an 80-degree day. So that gives an opportunity to break out some different fragrances. You know how I do reviews, hodgepodge of fragrances, different occasions, different price ranges. Let's go. All right. This is one of my favorite spring fragrances, and the bottle just looks spring. From the house of Lacoste. It is from the L1212 line, and it is Lacoste Eau Fraiche. L1212 Eau Fraiche. And this is a great scent. Light little citrus note. It's very bright and invigorating. It looks like this bottle. It smells like this bottle looks. I'm gonna give myself a little squirt because I really enjoy this fragrance. Whether you have this one or the white one, which I think is L1212 Blanche, you can't go wrong. I wear this one in the wintertime too, especially if the days are going to be long and pretty, which you don't have really long, pretty. You don't have a lot of long days in the winter, but you do have some pretty days. But you know what I mean? The sun's gonna come out and gonna get above 60. I will reach for this because it performs well. Performs well on days like that. As the temperature starts to heat up, in my opinion, on my skin, the performance of my fragrances can be a little lackluster. So if I have an opportunity to wear a fragrance like this in the middle of the winter or whenever, I will, as long as the sun's out and it's pretty. But this spring, I'm not even sure when time changes. Anyway, this is one that I will definitely get on my skin as the days get longer and the temperatures heat up and it's pretty and the birds start to sing and butterflies and all of that stuff. L1212 Eau Fraiche is one that you should definitely get on your skin from the house of Lacoste. This used to be readily available at Ross, Burlington, Marshalls, all of your rag stores. Don't see it as much anymore since the lockdown, since COVID and all of that. It's one of those fragrances that you just don't see anymore. Glad I picked it up. I'm sure you can still pick it up online. As a matter of fact, you used to see all the L1212s, the red, the magnetic, the black, which I think is all of them. You could find them all at all the rag stores, but not much anymore. All right, moving along. Another one that I think is fresh, green, grassy, perfect for the springtime, because when I think spring, that's what I think. Green, grassy fragrances. This one even has a green bottle and grass in the name, and it is from the house of Banana Republic. Not sure if it's part of the Icon line. I thought the Icon line was all the fragrances in this style bottle. I could be wrong. My boy JP out in Texas picked this up for me and shipped it to me, and I was so glad because I still haven't seen this one in my rack stores in Alabama, Mississippi, or Tennessee, because you know I frequent 3 states, baby. That's right, I frequent 3 states. But this one, it's nice. It's just nice. It's nice. And I have not smelled many fragrances from Banana Republic in this style bottle that I did not like. I think for the $20 to $25 that you're gonna pay for them, you get really good fragrances. It's a warm fragrance. A little bit green, a little bit fresh, almost like it's going in the direction of cool water, but then it says, no, that's not the direction we're going. We're gonna do our own thing, and we're gonna be our own fragrance. This is a very nice scent profile. The problem with it, if you would see it as a problem, as it sits on my hand, it gets a little bit sweeter. This is warmer than Cool Waters, if that makes any sense to you. Not quite as sweet and more warm. It just smells good. I mean, it smells good. With this one, you have a fragrance that's well made, well blended. And dare I use the word niche quality, but you don't get a whole lot of alcohol blast, but you do get a really, really good scent and scent profile. Now, is it the reinvention of the wheel? No. It falls right along in the lines of Green Irish Tweed, Cool Water, Aspen, some of the other Cool Water flankers. But hey, nonetheless, if you can find this at your local rack store for 22 bucks, I definitely suggest you pick it up, because I'm pretty sure if you got this from Banana Republic, it would be north of 60 bucks. And online, I think it's going for about 60, but I do like it. Think Green Irish Tweed, less sweet, warmer, and slightly greener, if that's even possible. From Banana Republic, from BR, it is Grassland, and that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one a lot. Since we talked about Cool Water, let's go ahead and get this one in. This one may surprise you, because I don't hear anybody talking about this one. I picked this one up in a trade, and this is Cool Water Caribbean Summer Edition. Any of y'all know anything about this one? Let's see. Put the that Grassland. The more it stays on my skin, it starts to sweeten up. I actually think that smells better than the original Cool Water, and Cool Water is a Hall of Fame fragrance to me, but you know. Put this one over here so I don't get the two confused. This one I like because it's a little bit, if possible, you have some of that Cool Water DNA, but it's a little bit more earthy. It's not as aquatic and not as green or not as sweet, but it's something in it that gives it a certain freshness. And it is a little bit tropical. I've never been to the Caribbean, but I like this scent. And as it stays on my skin and starts to dry down, that Cool Water DNA starts to come up from the bottom. Because when you first spray it on, you really won't get it. You'll get something a little bit warm and tropical. But then as it starts to dry down and your skin heats the fragrance up, that's when that Cool Water DNA starts to come in. But it comes in very smooth and very subtle. It's not overwhelming. It's a very chill, subtle scent. This is one I could see being worn to the T-ball games or to the soccer games. And that breeze catching it. Cool Water Caribbean Summer is a great name for this because it is one that gives you that Cool Water vibe with just a hint of summer festiveness. It's not a bright fragrance. This would also make a good little office scent. I can't see it being much of a projector, and the one time I did wear it, I don't think I got a whole lot of longevity out of it, but I put it on and it was hot and I was just kind of running around, so I didn't really pay much attention to it because it's been almost a year ago. But nonetheless, this is one that I think you guys, if you're doing some online shopping and you're wanting to fill up your buggy and just get that free shipping, and they have this is one I think you should pick up. Great little gym scent, great little office scent, great little around the house. I'm doing nothing pressing type of scent. Very chill, very casual, very calm, very relaxing. It does have the cool water DNA. It does go a little bit sweet and green after it's been on the skin for a little while, but I do like it. It is a little bit different. The opening is where the difference is. I could also see this being a unisex fragrance as well. I could see your lady friend picking this up off the counter, off your dresser, and giving herself a spray of this and going, that smells good. And it would be okay. It's not an overly masculine fragrance at all. Again, you have a little bit of tropical in the top, and then it dries down into that sweet, cool water DNA that most of us are familiar with. All right. Again, when I think springtime, I think grass, and this is one of my favorite springtime green grassy scents from the house of Cartier. It is Roadster Sport, and I've got to get this on my skin more. This is one I picked up at Nordstrom's Rack back when I was still married. Because, there are people that act like it's a secret that I got a divorce, like I ever hid it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all my peoples. I shared that with y'all. I picked this up at Nordstrom's Rack on the way back from Biloxi Beach, Mississippi. This was the first fragrance I bought from Nordstrom's. And I bought it because I had 50% off. I can't remember. I had a really, really good coupon. So we stopped in there on the way back from Biloxi, and I was just like, as a matter of fact, I think the ex-wife put it on her charge card, on her Nordstrom charge card, to get an additional percentage off. But this fragrance right here, if I were going to a springtime wedding and it was going to be outside, or if I were going on a first date and say we were going to hear Raheem Devon or some of the other artists that I like, and maybe it was going to be at a nice outdoor setting or something, this is a fragrance that I would wear. It just, in my opinion, green to the T, but it is just so cool and so refreshing. And it just has a nice regal feel to it. It has a really sweet green note to it. It just smells good. Slightly minty running underneath the green, meaning you'll smell the green before you smell that mintiness, and it's not an overwhelming menthol. It's Cartier. I mean, what else do I need to say? This is Cartier. It's well made, well blended, well put together. Would I wear this to the office? Yeah, oh my goodness. The more I smell it as it starts to move on my skin and work on my skin, I'm like, yes. And this bottle is almost full. I have got to get this on my skin more. From the house of Cartier, it is Roadster Sport. And I like this fragrance, man. That smells good. That's the downside of having so many fragrances, is that you just can't wear them all. So you miss on some gems like that. That smells amazing. I like it. Okay, let's go. We just go chill and lay back. Something chill, something laid back. I picked this up at the Rack store. This is turning out to be a really, really solid house. I've had multiple fragrances from this house, and they all smell good. I like them. And it is Mercedes-Benz. And this is Mercedes-Benz Gray. I've had several fragrances from this house. Some did not perform as well as I would like. As I would like for them to. But nonetheless, I think I paid $19.99 for this, and I think it's a 50 mil. That's nice. That's really nice. This one right here, springtime date, especially if it's in the day, in the evening, not at night, but you know, right there around sunset, something like that. Let's say you're going to get some tacos and y'all gonna sit out on the deck and listen to the band. Excuse me. Or maybe y'all have been kicking it all day and y'all decided y'all want to go to the park and feed the ducks. It's just something bright, energetic, and festive is what this one reminds me of. Now here's where this one is tricky, because this is one that you could wear in the evening and transition over into the night, because it's got some brightness in it, but then at the same time, it's got some sex appeal and some sweetness to it that I think lends it to the night. I guess that's why they named it gray, but definitely sweet enough and smells good enough to wear on a springtime date. I like this fragrance. Again, I think it is worth the $20 that you're gonna pay for it. Now, it's not a monster performer. It's not, you know, you're not gonna get hours of longevity and hours of projection. It is gonna sit closer to the skin, but that's not always a bad thing. Because if it sits closer to the skin and she gets a whiff, she's gonna wanna come closer and smell you. Or she lay your head on your chest or whatever, you know. That's where the magic of this comes in. If you're familiar with Mercedes-Benz fragrances, it has a little bit of the DNA from the blue one. I can't reach it, it's up there behind me. I want to say that's Mercedes-Benz Mercedes-Benz Man, I think is what it's called, and the blue one, which has very similar vibes to Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. It has just a hint of that. And that's after it's been on a minute and it's dried down. But nonetheless, if you see this out at your rag stores, or if you come across this online and they're not wanting more than $20, $25 for it, I definitely think it's a solid pickup. I think you will like it and enjoy it. I do. Whew, this smells good. And as I revisit that Lacoste, man, the only thing about the Lacoste is it's a little bit linear. You don't get a whole lot of movement out of it. It kind of comes out, sprays, and that's that. Which one was that? That's that grassland. And that grassland is really, really nice. Earthy sweetness. Very subtle, but all of these are very well made, very well blended fragrances that are really good fragrances to wear to the office. None of them are going to cause a distraction and be projecting from miles and miles away, but they're all going to smell good enough for you to get compliments and be told that you smell good. And that roadster, the sweetness and that mint is just coming in, and it is perfect. Now, you want to get compliments, you want to feel cool, fresh, invigorating. This one is one you can wear starting in the spring all the way through the fall, and it is from one of my favorite houses. The house is YSL, the line is Y, and it is fresh, or Eau Fresh, or whichever one it is. We're just gonna call it fresh. And this is a great fragrance. And I picked this up from an individual that was offloading some fragrances. Got a super deal. YSL is slowly becoming one of my favorite houses because the fragrances are solid. They're solid. They're just solid. Some of them don't perform, you know, the way that we in Frag feel like they're supposed to, because for some reason we feel like if you spray on a fragrance Tuesday, that it's still supposed to be there Friday, and that's just not realistic. And honestly, that's not good. You know, yes, we want to be able to get 6 or 7 hours out of them, but if not, then you just reapply. The first time I wore this fragrance, I had to go to the doctor in Huntsville, got it, sprayed it on. Went in the gas station to get gas, and there was a young lady in there talking to the cashier, and she just stopped. It was like, woo, you smell good. What is that? This YSLY Fresh. And the thing I like about the YSLY line, particularly YSLY Fresh, and I want to say Parfum, is you pick up on the original DNA, especially in this one. You pick up on the original DNA from the original YSLY mixed with some freshness. They just took it and made it fresher, more wearable for the summertime. But I love it. I even love this bottle. I think it's pretty. This smells good, man. That's nice. That's just nice. YSLY Fresh. What else I got? Speaking of fresh, this is one of my favorite fragrances. I bought this many years ago. Returned it because at the time my financial situation wasn't good. It wasn't the one that I thought I was purchasing. I wasn't sure. Sprayed it on and loved it, but I took it back because it was $50 or $60. The house is Paco. The line is 1 million. And I'm talking about 1 million cologne. And this one, I did get good performance out of. And cologne is a great name for this. No, this is nothing like the original 1 million. It's nothing like Privé or Parfum. I was thinking about Parfum and Privé. It's nothing like any of them. It's nothing like Elixir. It's just different. It's not those fragrances. This one has a little bit of a rose note in it. It just comes across as clean and fresh. And what better to wear in the summertime than a fresh, clean, rosy scent? And I'm gonna see if I can find a spot to spray this on, because I just need to get this on skin. I've wore this a few times. It's just good. It's just one of those fragrances that's just good. Oh, that's nice. And I picked this up when I was in Texas, messing around, palling around with my boy JP and Manny from Manuel's House of Aromas. Yeah, we hit a little stop up down in Dallas on Harry Hines. I walked in and saw it. I said, Jay, look. I said, is that 1 million cologne? He was like, yeah. I said, how many of them you got? He's like, I don't know. I ended up buying 2. And JP bought 1, but of course it's discontinued. In my opinion, again, this is a fragrance that probably would have been more successful if it had been marketed as a unisex fragrance. Now, or maybe we can look at it this way. Maybe this fragrance was ahead of its time, because at the release of this fragrance, it was before we had fragrances like Baccarat Rouge and Tom Ford Noir Extreme. It was before we got those fragrances that walked down the line of he can wear it, she can wear it, you know? Now, it's made for men, but again, it's not going to be the most masculine fragrance. You're going to have a slight bubblegummy type of vibe with a little bit of rose and freshness, and it just works. It just works. This is one definitely would spray on my skin if I were for some reason going to drip out in all white, which I never do. I have to wear white to work, and I can't keep white clean, so the closest to white I get is like baby blue or Tar Heel blue. But nonetheless, this is, in my opinion, a beautiful scent, and I am so proud to have this in my collection for multiple reasons. The scent profile is beautiful. It also reminds me of being in Dallas with JP and Manny, and it's just a great fragrance. I like it. If you can find this, I think it would be worth you purchasing. 1 million cologne. Oh, that just smells good. I almost want to say it has a little bit of a champagne accord to it as well. I like it, man. I do. This one, to me, screams summer. I'm sorry, screams spring or fall. Because to me, spring and fall, even though they're on opposite ends of the spectrum, one is springing to life, the other one is, dying, but temperatures are about the same. The vibe, the atmosphere is about the same, at least in Alabama. From the house of Labo, and it is Santal 33. And this is one, top, my mistake. Man, these are some big heavy tops. This is one, or caps, whatever. I did not have, this will be my first spring with this one. I think I got this one midsummer. And this is not a scent that everybody's gonna like. This is not a scent that everybody's gonna compliment you on, okay? It's just not. This is a scent that you're gonna have to wear for yourself. But on a green, let's say middle spring, maybe late spring day, it's raining, temperatures in the 70s, it's just gray, green. The neighbors have cut the grass and you got this smell of onion going on, just the smell of fresh cut grass. I think this would be a great day to wear this fragrance. I just do. To me, this is one of those that I think gets in the air and gets in the wind, pumping off of your skin, and it smells good. You may get a compliment from it that way. I just don't think this is the type of scent profile that people are gonna go, wow. That's more along the lines of 1 Million Cologne, Cartier, the Mercedes-Benz Gray, YSL. Those are more compliment-friendly fragrances. They just are. This one is more unique, and it's more for us guys that like fragrances, for us frag heads. But nonetheless, I do think it is a beautiful green scent. Well, y'all got me looking like a real frag head up here. Trying to find a spot to spray. Great atomizer. Yes. Green, woody. I like it. I like it a lot. Santal 33. I did wear this to work when I first got it, and I did get some compliments, shockingly. But I think that's because they know I'm going to come in smelling good, and they're just like, I smell Trey. So, I like it. I like it. Santal 33. Got two more, and both of these are absolutely stunning, beautiful fragrances. If I had a wedding to go to or just wanted to impress, first date, I would go with either one of these in the spring, and I think it would work. This bad boy right here is a compliment magnet. It is a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. The funny thing about this one, this was a gift from my boy JP, but I was able to bless him and send one back from the house of Chanel. It is Chanel Allure Homme Sport. No, I didn't get this from JP. No, I got this in a bundle trade. JP gave me Chanel Allure. And what had happened was I ended up with 2 bottles of, no? Maybe he did. Yeah, I think he did. Nonetheless, I ended up with 2 bottles of Chanel Allure Homme Sport. Okay, peep this. One was made in the US, one was made in France. This one was made in France. I smelled them and was like, they don't smell alike. They didn't smell alike. Similar, but not alike. The one that was made in the US was a little bit more harsh, but definitely stronger. This one that was made in France was sweeter, more subtle, So I had all the guys that I know that had it checked, and all of theirs was made in France. So I don't know when they made one in the US, but they did, because I checked. So it wasn't fake. They just made some in the US. As my battery is getting low. It's fine, I ain't got but one more bottle. But as I was saying, I was able to send that bottle to JP. I was like, hey, just try it. And he was like, Trey, man, I love it. So Chanel Allure Homme Sport, sweet, perfect for the spring, perfect for the office, perfect. I mean, it's just a great scent. It's just a great scent. You can't go wrong with this. Nobody's gonna tell you that you smell bad. Chanel products are very, very well made, well blended. it's gonna do everything that it's supposed to do. It's a little pricey. It's gonna cost you what, between $100 and $130, maybe $150. But it's worth it because this is a fragrance that could easily be your daily driver, especially if you're like a car salesman or you work in the office or something like that. Just something where you have to dress, fairly decent and be around people. So you don't want something that's too strong, but you want something that smells good. And this lingers a lot longer than you think. It lingers for 5 to 6 hours. Not a monster. Again, none of these are monster projectors, anything like that, but it will get the job done. Chanel Allure Homme Sport. To me, it's got a nice little clean, slightly citrus vibe to it, but just nice, clean, buttoned up, confident. Hey, I know what I want. I know where I'm going. That's the vibe that fragrance gives me. This next one, from the house of Parfums de Marly. And this is, to me, a beautiful, beautiful scent. Don't know which batch it is. I don't know if it's the old batch or the new batch because it's supposedly been reformulated. Parfums de Marly's Sedley. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It gives me vibes of Derby Clubhouse, Ascot, and almost Craze. Those are just a little bit less refined, a little bit rougher around the edges, but equally as stunning. I just like this fragrance. To me, I could see me standing there in a nice, button down with the sweater over the top of it, my little tie, some nice slacks and some shoes, a little timepiece on, at a wedding or just at a meeting or just anything that I wanted to impress. This fragrance, it just smells impressive. It just smells impressive. It smells like he knows what he's doing. He knows what he's talking about. It doesn't matter if you're talking about bologna sandwiches and pickles. If you're smelling like this and you're talking about bologna sandwiches and pickles, you're definitely gonna come off as if he knows his stuff. It's just got that vibe to it, a little bit earthy. Not so much green. It is earthy, but it just has this clean, masculine effect to it. Clean and masculine is what it is. If I may say so, it just smells like money, bro. This shit smells like money. That's what it do. This smells like money. This smells like you're supposed to get out of an Audi or a Mercedes, a 740i, a big body Beamer. That's what this smells like. This smells like you're supposed to jump out and have your stuff together. And I like it. I like it. From the house of Parfums de Marly, it is Sedley. All right, guys, that is it, man. I just wanted to get you a midweek video out. And since we hit the 3rd month of the year, Trey, why not? Why not do your little video? Why not get something out for you guys to see? Man, and again, I appreciate you all for everything that you do. Listen, guess what? We are this close to 3,000 subs, this close. So with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. And again, thank you so much for returning to the scene of the crime. Hope you all have had a beautiful Wednesday and are on the verge of having a beautiful Thursday, and we're knocking on the door of the weekend. So happy Thursday, everybody. You already know the drill. I love you all, and may God bless you all. And thank you so much for returning to the scene of the crime. But until next time, peace.